Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Kale. This is going to be a two-part video series. To me, this is the ultimate stretching routine, and the reason that I have created this is because there's been a couple friends of mine who do very explosive sports in wakeboarding and volleyball especially, where their lower back is just they feel like it's getting torched and um, soreness around your hips and your hip flexors, tightness there, and it all kind of stems to the back. That's the problem. So I've been building this routine really over my entire lifetime of being interested in stretching and mobility. It started with an uphill battle of getting into running and being a runner for like 10 years, and that created a lifetime of stiffness and mobility issues. And I do a lot of board sports, snowboarding, wakeboarding, skateboarding, things like that, which require an immense amount of mobility. And I started getting into volleyball, which just does a lot on your lower back, especially with all the jumping. Combining them together was getting pretty painful at times, and not being able to allow me to pursue those sports to the way that I wanted to. So that's the motivation. Maybe you're in the same case. Maybe you've got just some lower back pain. Maybe you're just trying to get better at athletics, and that's really where this started. And that's how I started this routine. Is that I was immediately getting benefits of being better at volleyball, being better at skateboarding, better at snowboarding. So I kept doing the routine, and wakeboarding, which has been the ultimate back pain crusher for me. After doing it for like 4 months, coming into the wakeboard season, I had literally no back pain. So I went from being able to ride like 2 to 3 times a week per mat, like for a maximum, to being able to ride 7 times per week and really pushing my wakeboard skills without pain. And that was throughout the entirety of the summer, and I'm still on that train. So that's what this is about. Okay, it's a ultimate stretching routine mainly for your lower body. I have a variation where I do for upper body, but this is meant to be your hips, your back, your hamstrings, and glutes and that type of areas. Um, Covered why you might need it. And the last piece is I want to just mention on how to make this your own and a couple things to note with this routine. So the idea of the routine, which you'll see in the follow along video, is it's meant to be a logical sequence that you do from one side to the other side. And the idea of it is to give yourself a flow where you really kind of go through one major flow. And within there, you are basically exploring every permutation that you can. You're kind of exploring your feet at how does this feel if you put your foot at this angle versus at this angle versus this angle versus this angle. What happens if you pull here and pull there? All those different things hit your body in different ways. And that is the main thing for you to understand, is like this is not just a one all routine, that's it. This is actually just the most bare bones version that I do. It kind of hits all the areas, but play around in each of the positions for longer, shorter. Try and lift your hips up. You can add weight to really exponentiate the process. There are so many other positions that you can do that feed into this. And for me, as someone who's not a yogi expert, there in the whole sequence, you probably go through 30, 40 different specific exercises, and I don't have names for them because I don't remember all of them myself. So it's a sequence that helps me remember as I'm logically going through these flow. Oh, I missed exploring this area. Let me go back and do this. And I'm hitting a lot of poses without treating them as many individual exercises where I go from this to this to this. It's one big flow, and all of your exercises are exploring within the sequence of that flow. I think it's also really, really important to mention that a lot of times, you're here, you're watching these videos, understanding how to do this because you are tight and maybe you have some pain. And I have found that you really got to listen to your body and go and treat warm-ups like warm-ups. If you push your body and pushing the stretching when you are tight, you're just going to injure yourself more. So I recorded the session when I was already tight. And I'm not pushing my mobility. I think it's a key thing to just keep in mind that it's more about going through the motions. And if you really want to push your flexibility in this point in time, do it after a workout. Your body's already going to be loose, and do the sequence twice. You can spend more time in the sequence, however you want to do it. But if you are tight and if you are sore, treat it truly like a warm up. Just going through the motions will loosen up your body. And you'll notice as you go through the sequence, there's a lot of redundancy. So what I mean by that is like you're actually hitting the same stretch multiple times in the same sequence, and that's very intentional, because initially you're going to be really tight, and then you kind of come back through the sequence and you feel like, oh wow, I'm so much looser, and you're working yourself into it. So it's not like a one and done for the stretches. Each of the times you do them, you'll hit them again in just another way, another avenue. So don't get too antsy. Yeah, enjoy. I want to make an amendment for a commonly asked question that I get, which is, how often do you do this routine? I aim to do this routine at least once a day, especially before doing sports. That's when I have the most impact to my daily life, because like I said, I perform better in whatever sports that I'm doing after I do this routine. However, especially if you're doing activities that are high intensity to your back, like volleyball, where you know that they just absolutely wear you down in those areas, I definitely do them after the fact as well. So in those cases, I really do this sequence twice a day, especially when I'm doing activities. And the more you do it, the more consistency you'll get with it. And like I was saying, with adapting it, make it your own. You can shorthand it. You can make the whole sequence. I think the recording video went like 8 minutes for me doing the sequence pretty quickly. That's not that much time. You could do even a shorter version where it takes 5 minutes or 3 minutes. You can have a longer version where it takes you 15 or 20 minutes to do that sequence. So, but that's the frequency that I truly do strive to do this routine.